Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year, and welcome back to the Engine Builder Show. On today's episode, we will be talking about how to set goals that you can actually accomplish. And if you like the sound of that, as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Good morning, everybody.
There was always a ton to learn. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Hope you're doing well. This is the first show of 2022, which is crazy. I remember when it was the year 2000 and it was turning over and it was Y2K and nobody was sure about what was going to be happening. But fortunately, that myth passed too. But today, I want to share with you just kind of how I approach setting goals and really setting goals that can be accomplished, because I realized quite a few years ago now, probably 7-8 years ago, that setting New Year's resolutions does not work for me anyway. I'm sure that may work for some people, but the more I read about it, the less that I see people are actually accomplishing their New Year's resolutions. And I think that's often because folks set like really lofty goals and they don't get down to the micro levels to figure out what's going to actually move the needle forward. And instead of doing that, what I typically do is set intentions for the year. And then more importantly, I'll focus on what I can do on a daily basis to actually achieve goals and achieve things that matter. And a lot of this that's been really highly effective for me came from trial and error, a good part of it. And then also what really solidified a lot of accomplishing the goals and things I want to accomplish came from reading James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, which is one of my favorite books. But the first thing you got to pay attention to when it comes to actually being able to accomplish the goals that you set is make sure that they become daily micro, actions. Nothing great in my life anyway. I've never been able to accomplish anything great that I wasn't able to boil down to something that I do on a daily basis. Because if you set a goal and it doesn't become part of your daily routine, then the odds of you accomplishing it are pretty low. And so I remember, I tell this story all the time, but I remember when I decided when I was like 29, 30 years old, so about a decade ago, I was like, you know what, I want to get in great shape. I've never been in great shape. When I was younger, I didn't eat really well as a kid for many reasons. And also then, in my teen years and 20s, didn't work out a ton, didn't really focus on being healthy physically. And I said, you know what, I want to change. I want to become healthy. And so I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just wake up and drink a giant glass of water every day. Because I know if I drink water, then I'll be more hydrated. My mind will be in better shape. My body will be healthier. And I'll start to trigger the behavior of making a choice early in the day that's towards my health. And so that's all I did to start. I believe I did that for a couple of weeks. And then I said, you know what? I've mastered, drinking a big glass of water in the morning, and that's really helping me feel healthier and more awake. It's kicking my immune system into gear, my metabolism, and it's really helping. So I said, okay, so I want to now do something physically. And I said, okay, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes. I'm not going to run, not going to lift, not going to do anything crazy. All I'm going to do is drink my glass of water in the morning. And then as soon as I do that, I'm going to drive to the gym, which is around the corner from me, fortunately. And I'm going to get on the treadmill and walk for 5 minutes. And I did that for like a month. And then once I had done that, I was like, you know what? I can walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes. So I ended up making it 10 minutes. And then after I did that for a few weeks, I said, I can do one circuit around the machines that I can lift a little bit. And so essentially, in order to really achieve my goal of becoming healthy, and getting in good shape the way I wanted to, I just added little micro steps into my day. And so whether it's health and fitness, whether it's a goal you want to accomplish in your business, if it's learning a second language, if it's writing a book, whatever you want to accomplish, make sure that you can break it down into something that you can accomplish on a daily basis. And so I know for me, my morning time is when I'm most awake and most productive and have the least kind of resistance going on, in my time and in my thoughts and in what's going on. So the things that are important to me, I will slot little time slots in the morning to accomplish them. So one of the things that I do every single morning is plan out my day. So this morning around 7:45, I was writing in my momentum planner that my friend Alex Charfin created. I love his momentum planner. And so I was writing in my momentum planner and planning out what I wanted to accomplish for the day. And so I have time slotted for that every single day. I do it consistently, and it's what allows me to accomplish things every day. And sometimes I only accomplish one thing on my to-do list, but because it's a little micro step forward, as I look back over the course of the year, are some days where I accomplish 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or even more things. Sometimes I have a massively productive day. So it averages out that I get 3 or 4 things done a day typically. And if I look back at the year, I've accomplished well over 1,000 important things in 2021. And so all of that to say is just really important that you break down into, you look at a goal, what you ultimately want to accomplish. And that's a good vision. That's a good intention. I think those big goals are important. And then what really matters is what are all the little grains of sand that if you stack them up will make something big. And those are the micro actions that we can engineer into our day. So that's the first thing that's really important. I've already talked about a little bit, but habit stacking is the other part that's really key. So you probably, I'm confident that everybody that gets to watch this, you already have a habit that you do every day. You probably wake up and you use the restroom, you might make coffee, you get dressed, there's things you do every day, a routine regardless. Like we all have good structure and routine, but we don't always recognize it. And so what you want to look for is how can I just slip in something positive that's going to move me towards one of my bigger intentions, one of my bigger goals into what I'm already doing. And so going back to my health and fitness example, when I woke up, I put a huge glass of water next to my coffee pot and I drank my big glass of water before I made my coffee because it was just stacked right in there with something I already did. And it was easy for me to go, oh yeah, I'm going to drink water and then I'll make my coffee. I didn't have to eliminate drinking coffee, which I ended up doing years later. Haven't drank coffee in quite a few years. But I didn't have to eliminate something. All I did is had to add in something positive. And when we add in something positive on a consistent basis, then we end up crowding out the things we don't want. And that's how we can habit stack into what we're already doing. So if you look at your day and you go, oh, and an easy way to do this is just log what you do all day. A friend of mine taught me about time studies years ago, my friend Lisa Malice. And she had me write down every 15 minutes what I did. And even though it wasn't the most exciting or fun exercise that I ever did, I did that for a couple of weeks. And then I was able to go, oh, at this time, in the morning, I typically do this. Towards the end of the day, here's what I normally do. So doing a time study and figuring out what you're doing, tracking what you're doing is helpful because then you can go, oh, where can I stack something else into this that would be productive and helpful? So that habit stacking is key because, again, instead of trying to create a brand new routine and a brand new thing, which is very unlikely to be successful, you can look and say, what am I already doing that I can just add something positive into? How can I crowd a little more positivity, a little bit more of that positive micro action towards my big goal into my day? And so habit stacking is really key. Again, find something that you're already doing and add something positive into that will help you take a little micro step towards your goal. And then the third thing is getting accountability, especially early on. For some folks, this is really productive and really helpful, getting accountability for things. And again, especially early on when you're trying to create a new habit or you want support or you want to achieve your goal. One of the things that I've heard people talk about, and I've engaged in this off and on. It hasn't been a huge motivator to me, but I know it's been really successful for other people. So that's why I want to share it. Is if you meet up with somebody and say, hey, I'm committed to doing this, and you say, here's a $500 check or whatever is a big amount of money to you, and you exchange $500 checks and you say, if you miss any days or if you don't accomplish what you set out to do, then I'll tell you and you get to cash that check. So sometimes financially motivating yourself is good accountability. Other times just a quick daily check-in of like, hey, how you doing? Are you achieving your goals? Are you prospecting every day like you said you do? Are you working out? Are you doing whatever it is that you wanted to accomplish? Often early on, a little bit of that relational, support and accountability is what's going to help you move forward. And so that's a good thing to add in as well and see if it helps you. There's certain things also that I found that I don't really need external accountability, but I need self accountability. So I'll just write down what I'm doing and then I'll review it at the end of the day. But regardless, adding in that extra positive pressure is helpful. And another way actually that has been like some of that daily accountability or some of those other kind of strategies, I've used some of them, some with some success, some that they haven't really worked for me. But one thing that has been really consistent in helping me is I will set a goal for something, or I'll set a target, or I'll say, here's what I'm going to accomplish. And then I'll talk to one of my business coaches and say, in 2 weeks, I'm going to meet with you and I'm going to present to you everything that I completed. So I actually create a meeting in my calendar and I show up and present the work or the logs or the things that I did to move towards my goal. And that's been probably the most, successful for me as far as helping me hit those goals and making them something I can really accomplish by kind of chunking them down into a week or two's worth of work, saying, here's what I'm going to get done. And then coming back and actually presenting, in a kind of presentation style of here's what I accomplished. And when I do that with one of my business coaches who's been coaching me for a couple decades at this point, I'm not going to show up and let him down. I'm going to show up and have my work done, and I'm going to show up and kind of live up to what I committed to. And it really is a positive kind of relational pressure that helps me move forward. So those are the things that have been really successful for me, making sure that any big thing I want to accomplish, I've broken down into little micro daily actions and daily habits. Habit stacking, finding something I already do routinely and adding something positive in next to it that's moving me more towards my goal. And then third is finding the right kind of accountability, whether it's those kind of periodic meetings where I present the work I've done. Again, that's worked really well for me. Or I've seen other people where they create a challenge for themselves and they say like, hey, if I don't accomplish this, I'm going to pay you this money. Or even just a quick daily check-in, that accountability step, really helps. So hopefully those are helpful in helping you move towards your goal. It's a brand new year, so it's always exciting to set those big intentions, those big goals. And again, I just encourage you to bring it down to the daily level. What can you accomplish on a daily basis? Because that's what's going to move you forward. So thanks for tuning in. Happy New Year, and I will see everyone tomorrow.